So the allies, when Leonidas ordered them to retire, obeyed him and forthwith departed. Only the Thespians and the Thebans remained with the Spartans, and of these the Thebans were kept back by Leonidas as hostages, very much against their will. The Thespians, on the contrary, stayed entirely of their own accord, refusing to retreat and declaring that they would not forsake Leonidas and his followers.
At sunrise, Xerxes made libations, after which he waited until the time when the Forum is wont to fill, and then began his advance. Ephialtes had instructed him thus, as the descent of the mountain is much quicker and the distance much shorter than the way round the hills in the ascent. So the barbarians under Xerxes began to draw nigh, as the Greeks under Leonidas, as they now went forth determined to die, advanced much further than on previous days, until they reached the more open portion of the pass. Hitherto they had held their station within the wall, and from this had gone forth to fight at the point where the pass was the narrowest. Now they joined battle beyond the defile, and carried slaughter among the barbarians, who fell in heaps. Behind them the captains of squadrons armed with whips urged their men forward with continual blows. Many were thrust into the sea, and there perished. A still greater number were trampled to death by their own soldiers. No one heeded the dying, for the Greeks, reckless of their own safety and desperate, since they knew that as the mountain had been crossed their destruction was nigh at hand, exerted themselves with the most furious valor against the barbarians. By this time the spears of the greater number were shivered, and with their swords they hewn down the ranks of the Persians, and here, as they strove, Leonidas fell fighting bravely, together with many other famous Spartans, whose names I have taken care to learn on account of their great worthiness, as indeed I have those of all the 300. There fell too at the same time very many famous Persians, among them 2 sons of Darius, Abracomes and Hyperanthes, his children by Phratagune, a daughter of Artanes. Artanes was brother of King Darius, being a son of Stapes, the son of Arsames, and when he gave his daughter to the king, he made him the heir likewise of all his substance, for she was his only child. Thus 2 brothers of Xerxes here fought and fell, and now there arose a fierce struggle between the Persians and the Lacedemonians over the body of Leonidas, in which the Greeks 4 times drove back the enemy, and at last by their great bravery succeeded in bearing off the body. This combat was scarcely ended when the Persians with Ephialtes approached, and the Greeks, informed that they drew nigh, made a change in the manner of their fighting, drawing back into the narrowest part of the pass, and retreating even behind the cross-wall. They posted themselves upon a hillock, where they stood all drawn up together in one close body, except only the Thebans. The hillock whereof I speak is at the entrance of the straits, where the stone lion stands which was set up in honor of Leonidas. Here they defended themselves to the last, such as still had swords using them, and the others resisting with their hands and teeth, till the barbarians, who in part had pulled down the wall and attacked them in front, in part had gone round and now encircled them upon every side, overwhelmed and buried the remnant which was left beneath a shower of missile weapons. Thus nobly did the whole body of Lacedemonians and Thespians behave, but nevertheless one man is said to have distinguished himself among all the rest, to wit, Dionysius the Spartan. A speech which he made before the Greeks engaged the Medes remains on record. One of the Trachinians told him, such was the number of the barbarians, that when they shot forth their arrows the sun would be darkened by their multitude. Dionysius, not at all frightened at these words, but making light of the Median numbers, answered, Our Trachinian friend brings us excellent tidings. If the Medes darken the sun, we shall have our fight in the shade. Other sayings, too, of the like nature are reported to have been left on record by this same person. Next to him 2 brothers, Lacedemonians, are reputed to have made themselves conspicuous. They were named Alpheus and Maro, and they were sons of Orosiphantus. There was also a Thespian who gained greater glory than any of his countrymen. He was called Dithyrambus, the son of Harmatidas. The slain were buried where they fell, and in their honor, nor less in honor of those who died before Leonidas sent the allies away, an inscription was set up, which said, Here did 4,000 men from Pelops' land against 300 myriads bravely stand. This was in honor of all, another was for the Spartans alone. Go, stranger, and to Lacedaemon tell that here, obeying her behests, we fell. This was for the Lacedæmonians. The seer had the following: The great Megistius' tomb, for you may view, whom slew the Medes, fresh from the Spertius fords. Well the wise seer the coming death foreknew, yet scorned he to forsake his Spartan lords. These inscriptions, and the pillars likewise, were all set up by the Amphictyons, except for that in honor of Megistius, which was inscribed for him on account of their sworn friendship by Simonides, the son of Lepropus.